I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of April 20th, 2016. Lots of cool stuff to talk about this week. We'll give you some of the highlights, including our recommendations. And first up for me, hands down, the winner of the week, Criminal, 10th Anniversary, oversized magazine edition. I don't know what the technical term is for this, whether it's magazine edition, treasury. It's not a treasury edition, but anyway, it's the size and look of the classic kind of Savage Sword of Conan, the Marvel magazine style that they did back in the 70s, and they did them some in the United States, but lots in the UK, and this is just all kinds of cool. This is the second one that they've done. The first one was also amazingly cool. So, available in two formats. You've got the regular Criminal 10th Anniversary Edition, which is a regular comic size, and then you've got the cooler one, which has a cover, The Deadly Hands of Criminal, featuring Fang, the Kung Fu Werewolf. I cannot express to you how much I love this book. It will not fit into this episode. This is a self-contained, standalone story from the world of Criminal, so not a lot of nice things happen. Sprinkled within the Criminal story, you get comic pages from Fang the Kung Fu Werewolf.
Remember how in Watchmen, the guy at the comic stand would read the comic and then we see the comic on the page? Same concept, except, not making me want to kill myself like the pages in Watchmen.
And much more digestible than the pirate story from Watchmen. It's so good. So good. But dark, again. So if you can tolerate not nice people, there are some nice people that kind of get caught in the crossfire here. And the main character is the son of a criminal who's 11 years old. And, it's very easy to sympathize with this kid while he's stuck on, being dragged around by his ex-con father, who's, a douchebag of the highest order. But just the look, the feel. I mean, it's got a coffee stain on the back. It's got that ad with that guy that you see in all the comics from the 1970s. It just is perfect. It is the perfect book this week. Criminal 10th Anniversary Edition. Again, what is this? The oversized
I think
format.
they call it the Deadly Edition or something like that.
The Deadly Hands of Criminal
sure.
Edition.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't flipped through the regular edition. Does that have... I imagine it has the same content. It's just a comic size and missing the cool cover and back cover. So we currently have both available, but we haven't opened yet. So
Criminal's written by Ed Brubaker with art by Sean Phillips.
Yes, it's always written by Ed Brubaker, always with art by Sean Phillips. And what this did is it made me want to go back and read more Criminal.
Right.
Specifically the one that's an homage to the Archie comics, because I really, really dug that one. So I'm going to go back and read more Criminal. And I think there's some nice hardcovers of Criminal available, which I will be ordering for myself.
My pick of the week. A new number one from Boom Studio. We've got Joyride, written by Jackson Lansing with art by Colin Kelly.
Nope. Two writers.
Co-written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly with art by Marcus Toe. And this is all kinds of fun. This is a relatively near future, sci-fi romp. Basically, some Earth has turned into a bunch of jerks. The planet Earth is sort of a fascist, isolationist regime. They've given up on space. They block out the stars themselves and sort of encapsulate Earth to protect it from aliens. And there's all this propaganda saying the aliens are evil and want to kill us. And maybe some of them do. But so people grow up without stars, without believing in reaching for the sky, without NASA.
Without dreams.
Thanks, Obama. But it's about a couple of kids. Well, not kids. They're young adults, I suppose. They're pretty young. Teenagers of some
I would say
stripe.
late teens, early 20s.
Who decide to steal a spaceship and get off this crappy version of Earth. And it's just fun. A lot of sci-fi is sort of cerebral and heavy. I mean, and obviously there is some stuff going on here with socio-economic stuff. And, all sci-fi is about what's wrong with our culture, just seen through a different lens. But this isn't, dreary. They're not standing around tables debating things. It's fun. The characters are likable. They talk like real people talk, and it was a joy. Joyride was a joy.
It was a strong contender for me as pick of the week as well. Really enjoyed it. Just a fun, great looking, great written, fun book. You should absolutely check it out.
Good job, Bill.
Guess what? Superman American Alien is out this week. This is issue number 6 of 7, written by Max Landis, artwork by, I believe, Jonathan Case. Yes, Jonathan Case. And this continues the incredible story that Max Landis is telling, his Superman story of Superman Clark Kent at different stages of his life. This is Clark as a hipster 20-something, and his friends from Smallville come to visit him and kind of call him out on some of how he's changed a little bit from when he was last in Smallville, but also how his friends maybe aren't really in tune with Clark, and Clark really isn't in tune with them. And so there's some heart-to-heart moments, and there's action, and we see Jimmy Olsen. Have we seen Jimmy Olsen yet in this series?
I don't think so.
We meet Landis's Jimmy Olsen, who has a photography exhibit opening up in a gallery where he takes pictures of a bunch of bad guys, and Lois decides she doesn't want to go because she doesn't want to support that. Just really, Landis knows how to write a Superman book, and we've been telling you that for the last 5 months. As each issue comes out, we're going to keep telling you that. Again, if you're not checking this out in single issues, you are truly missing out. We'll continue with 2 other Superman books for this week because there are 2 other Superman books that came out. Action Comics 51 is part 3 of the final days of Superman, written by Peter Tomasi with artwork by Paul Pelletier. And this is, if you've been reading the first 2 parts, the New 52 Superman is dying, and he's trying to find Supergirl. In the previous couple of issues, he does find her in this issue, and kind of brings her up to speed on what the situation is. So again, there's some kind of tender cousin moments, but there's also smashing of things, and we get to find a little bit more out. Is that even proper English? We get to find out some more about the Chinese animals that attacked Batman and Superman last week in Batman Superman, and there is a larger plan in place, which may or may not impact this version of Superman. And finally, Superman Lois and Clark number 7, written by Dan Jurgens, artwork by Lee Weeks, one of my favorite books, if not my favorite book that DC is publishing right now. This is the pre-New 52, so the old school Superman and Lois with their son Jonathan, who is like 10 or 11 years old. They, after Convergence, found their way to the main DC Earth, so they exist in the same world as the other Superman and Lois, but they're working in secret to do good. And this is all going to come to a head, we believe, as we get to Rebirth, when it appears that this version of Superman and Lois and their son are the Superman, Lois, and their son of the Rebirth universe. So if you want to kind of get up to speed before we get to Rebirth, go back and seek out some back issues of Superman, Lois, and Clark, and definitely check out the Final Days of Superman. It is an excellent story. I wish Superman was this good from the beginning of the New 52, but they are firing in all cylinders.
It only took them 4 years to get right.
Yeah.
I loved this. So you've got Superman and Kara sharing a moment. He's sort of passing the torch, saying, "You're going to have to be the hero now. The hero is you, Kara." The next page, a full-page ad for the Supergirl TV show.
Yes.
Yes. And if you missed out on the early parts of The Last Days of Superman, DC just announced they will be doing reprints of them. So while we don't necessarily have them in at the moment, or your local shop may not, there are more coming. So we can definitely get them.
Yeah, they're scheduled to be out before May 25th, before the Rebirth one-shot comes out.
Next up for me, we've got a 2 for Mark Miller and Raphael Albuquerque's Huck. This is the final issue of a series we've loved every issue of. It is probably the best Mark Miller book I've ever read. It's touching and human, even though it's not about people. It's about people with extraordinary powers, but extraordinary humanity as well. And it was just awesome and amazing. If you haven't read it yet, seek out the single issues or check it out in trade, because it's totally worth your time. Also, sort of heart-tearing, we've got Hawkeye number 6. This is the end of the first story arc in the all-new Hawkeye Part 2. Written by Jeff Lemire with art by Ramon Perez. And we see the culmination of the story about the 2 Hawkeyes, and we see a change in status of both the heroes at the end and where they're going. And, it was just a closure, and it was really good. It was resonant, and books like Hawkeye really sell me on the monthly comic. Like, there are some experiences that have to be episodic. I can watch a 3-hour movie, but sometimes, watching 3 or 4 45-minute episodes will give more emotional resonance because of the pacing and the way it's broken up. And Hawkeye is one of those books that definitely benefits from kind of reading it every month and following it as it flows.
Well, I didn't read it, and now I want to. So, well done. Power Man and Iron Fist #3 is out this week, written by David Walker, artwork by Sanford Green. Been talking about it for the last 2 months. This is an excellent book, lots of fun to read, but I want to point out this week, I believe it's the first letters page for the new Power Man and Iron Fist. David Walker is the one that answers the letters, and I love his style of answering letters. He answers one, thank you, Power Man and Iron Fist love you. I know this because they told me. So that's a good thing. So the letters, definitely check out the letters page in Power Man and Iron Fist 3, and you should be reading it in the first place. It's an incredible book over at Marvel. Finally, we've got Captain America #1, Road to War. I believe this is a one-shot, so the #1 is just to trick you into thinking this is the beginning of something. And it is. This is actually the first mission of the cinematic universe new Avengers team. So at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, we see that Captain America and Black Widow have kind of assembled a new guard made up of Falcon, Scarlet Witch, War Machine, and the Vision. And this is their first mission. So if you want to see kind of what happened after the credits and what happens before we get to Captain America Civil War, this is the book for you.
Speaking of letters page and Power Man Iron Fist, did you read the the Miller thing in the back of Huck?
I did.
Where he mentions the new project coming out
with Greg Capullo. Yeah, he's been talking about that for months.
Yeah, I totally missed that. Well, I'm excited. I like Greg Capullo.
And you know what? You gotta give it up to Mark Miller for the way that he does things. You know, he's planning so far ahead. So far ahead that, obviously he's licensing some of the stuff off to be films before the thing is even done.
Right.
It's, at least recently, for the most part, his books ship on time. Mm-hmm. And he's working with the top artists in the business. He's getting a chance to tell really cool stories with input from some amazing, talented artists. And, every once in a while, 2 or 3 times a year, we get a new Mark Miller miniseries. And it's just a joyous time. And he interacts great with fans, interacts great with retailers. He's obviously got a good head for business. Just, Mark Miller, we like you.
I've forgiven you for the end of Civil War. Next up for me, we've got, our last up for me, I guess. Issue 3 of Switch is out. You may remember long ago and far away, this is the sort of Elseworlds Witchblade story written and drawn by Stephen Sejic, and he apologizes in the back and explains why he's behind and promises to get back on time. So it's okay, as long as the book is this good, I'll pick it up every shot. This is the first time we really get to see the new bearer kind of interact with the different past bearers and go to almost like a white space where she can talk to the different ones, and it's very cool. There's a lot of personality conflicts, but it's just very well written, very human. And also last week from Linda Sejic, Stefan's wife, we got Bloodstain Volume 1 graphic novel. This was originally published digitally as a webcomic. And it is very cool. It's about a down-on-her-luck scientist who just cannot find and hold a job. And we see her go through a amusing list of occupations that she's not very good at, butcher and waitress and whatnot, before finally being desperate enough to take the creepy letter that's been hanging out on the job board from some weird scientist who needs an assistant and everyone says is a super creeper. And it was really good. It's very relatable, very human, very fun. And I will say it was originally published as a webcomic, which is a form that doesn't have the patterning break of single issues or of graphic novels normally. So the end of the story is a bit of a cliffhanger, but very good. Totally fun. If you like Switch or Sunstone or other things from the family Sejic, you will probably like Bloodstain.
All right, really, the thing that I'm most excited about this week, actually, when I saw it on the invoice, I shouted with glee. Elseworlds Batman Volume 1 is out, and for those of you that are too young to remember Elseworlds, DC told what-if-style stories that took place in basically different universes, where their characters got to either interact in the future or in the past, or, for example, the cover of Elseworlds Batman is where Bruce Wayne gets a Green Lantern ring. And actually, Kingdom Come was an Elseworlds story, as well as Superman Red Sun, when they were originally published. So Elseworlds was kind of done away with many years ago, but now they're bringing stuff back because they realize that they are damn good stories and people want to read them, and they should always be in print. So a bunch of Batman Elseworld stories get collected. We've got Holy Terror, Batman the Blue, the Gray, and the Bat, Robin 3000, number 1 and 2, Batman Dark Joker, The Wild, Batman Houdini, The Devil's Workshop, Batman Castle the Bat, Batman and Darkest Night, and Batman Dark Allegiances. A big heaping helping of Batman Elseworld stories is available in trade paperback format for the first time in a long time. And the next one is a Justice League one, which I'm also really excited about. And finally, Star Wars Vader Down is out in a collected edition, trade paperback. So the crossover that took place in Star Wars and Darth Vader over at Marvel, which is all kinds of awesome. We talked about the single issues when it came out. I don't know what else to say. You should come get it. If you're reading any Star Wars in trade format, you need to get this one.
Yeah, this is the next part of both Marvel, or both Vader and Star Wars. So this will be volume 3 of both of those.
Yes. So yeah, thank you for clarifying that. All kinds of cool stuff out this week, and of course, Free Comic Book Day is right around the corner. Saturday, May 7th. Head out to your local comic shop, and if that's us, hopefully we'll see you. We've got over 10,000 comics that we're giving away. Just us. And all kinds of awesome stuff, including Civil War number 0, so you get your first, or Civil War 2, I should say, number 0. You get your first peek at that. We've got...
It's not the 0, it's the Prelude. Because there's a separate 0
that's right,
book
that's right.
as well.
And we get our glimpse at the new Wasp. We get a new Captain America issue, which has some great content in it, and all kinds of just incredible stuff. We'll be partnering with several downtown businesses here like we did last year. We've got a bunch of characters in costume that will be here to take pictures with you and have fun. And of course, we're incorporating Touch a Truck, taking that over from the library this year. So we'll have a bunch of big trucks for kids to crawl around on. I honestly don't ever remember going to Touch a Truck, so even when my kids were young. But I know that other people took them and they had fun. So if you want your kids to see, a police department cruiser and a tow truck, and the Lima Senior Moon Buggy will be here and they'll be giving rides in that, and just all kinds of incredible stuff. So make sure that you have Saturday, May 7th on your calendar to head to downtown Lima and hang out with us at Alter Ego Comics. That's it for this week. If you enjoyed this episode, we always appreciate you giving us a thumbs up on the YouTube, and feel free to ask any questions below. We'll see you next time.